Vardaan 1. The Ultimate Boon. Written by Mr. Deepak Sadia. Chapter 7. The extraordinary privilege is for free. It had been only 2 days since Krishna Chandra's marriage was completed, when an envoy from the palace came to Beli Rama with the message of the king. Krishna Chandra did not want to go to the palace due to some personal reasons, but Beli Rama sent him forcibly. King Balaba Kumara was waiting for Krishna Chandra in his room. He was so upset that he could not properly greet Krishna Chandra. "Acharya Krishna Chandra, please help me. You have to rejoin your post of Acharya," King Balaba Kumara said immediately. Krishna Chandra was not coming to the palace only because of this reason. "My king, I'm sorry to you, but I can't do it even if I want to. I had left my shisha in the middle." It was Acharya Tejasraha who handled the situation. "I am deeply grateful to him. Just because of him my dear Shisha's education continued. Now that I am back, he has to go. No king, this is miserably wrong. My principles don't allow me to do this unfair act. And at the same time, it is also wrong from a practical point of view. The one who has supported in difficult times should not be punished but instead rewarded. No food provider, I cannot do this." Krishna Chandra explained everything. Krishna Chandra also expressed his admiration for Tejasraha. "I knew that a gentleman like you would say this. But Acharya, I am very compelled. My Keshava has clearly said that if he studies, then you will be his Acharya, otherwise he will remain uneducated. Apart from you, he is categorically refusing to receive education from anyone else. You are clueless that Acharya Tejasraha has been coming daily for the last 15 days, but Keshava does not go to study. He is returning without teaching for 15 days. King Balaba Kumara said with great shame. "Impossible, a decent boy like a prince can't do that." It has become possible, and not once or twice. It has been happening daily for the last 15 days. "How can this be true, sir? He is a very intelligent and obedient child." "No, my conscience does not agree," Krishna Chandra said firmly. Krishna Chandra refused to accept so, as he knew the personality of Keshava Kumara very well. It is with great regret that he is doing this despicable act every day. You understand my pain too. With what face will I keep asking for forgiveness from Acharya Tejasraha every day?" The king expressed his pain. Krishna Chandra saw tears in the eyes of the king. Those tears forced him to trust his king. "It is a matter of great sadness, but I still cannot believe that my Keshava can do this. Has he ever told you why he is doing this?" Krishna Chandra asked, thinking. King Balaba Kumara said yes with eyes. That gave a little relief to Krishna Chandra. "The night I returned from your wedding, he came to my room and told me everything. I felt like calling you at the same time, but it was your marriage, so." King Balaba Kumara said. "Yes, that I am sorry for my busy schedule. Please tell me, what did Keshava say?" Krishna Chandra asked. "Keshava said that when you used to teach, he used to like to study. He remembers everything you taught him. But this is not the case with Acharya Tejasraha. His method of teaching is different. He could not learn anything from him." The king replied. There was trust in the king's voice. That was more shocking for the former Acharya. "What are you saying? While Keshava Kumar is a brilliant Shisha, I have heard that Acharya Tejasraha is also a great scholar," Krishna Chandra said, as he could not digest the truth told by his king. "Acharya, having knowledge and sharing knowledge are two different things. I have seen your style of teaching. You don't impose things. You allow understanding to find its way. Due to this habit, the increase in intellectual knowledge happens automatically without giving any stress to the mind. But Acharya Tejasraha..." The king stopped himself all of a sudden. Krishna Chandra was frightened by that. "What happened?" Terrified, Krishna Chandra asked. The king took a few minutes to decide whether he should tell the truth or not. I have the right to know. Please tell me. Chandra requested his former employer. Acharya Tejasraha wanted that whatever he told should be memorized. King Balaba Kumara said hesitantly. What? Suddenly came out of astonished Chandra's mouth. Yes, Acharya, I am telling you the truth. Balaba Kumara said firmly. But memorizing is not learning. Chandra expressed his feelings with little anger. I know, Acharya. A Shisha who studied from you will never remember things forcibly. His effort will be to understand things. I have seen how you used to answer Keshava's every why and how, if you didn't know anything, you dared to apologize to the little one. I heard myself when you said that I do not have the answer yet, I will find it and tell you. Unlike you, Acharya Tejasraha wants that every sentence that comes out of his mouth should be accepted as true as it is Brahmavakya. The king told. Chandra shook his head in sorrow, feeling the tension of poor Keshava Kumara. This is ridiculous. Chandra expressed his feelings. The king's expressions were telling that he also agreed with Acharya's words. Asking any question, Acharya Tejasraha considers as an insult. Now tell me, Brahman Lord, what is Keshava doing wrong by refusing to study from such an Acharya? King explained everything. Hearing that, Chandra did not like it at all. That was going thoroughly opposite to the teaching he had wished for Keshava Kumara. Keshava Kumara was being taught to walk in sheep's gait. It means that Keshava's education has not progressed. At the behest of Chandra, the king nodded in despair and agreed. Soldier, give my message to my Shisha, tell him that the holidays are over and the study starts tomorrow. Chandra said in a little anger. Just after saying, Chandra left. The king and the soldiers became very happy. The king immediately sent the soldier to Tejasraha with an apology letter and money. Tejasraha got very angry, but did not say anything to the soldier and returned the money to him. Do you have any message for our king? The soldier asked. Tejasraha wanted to say many things, but he controlled his tongue. He shook his head and gave the signal to leave. The soldier greeted him and went back to the palace. Tejasraha waited till the soldier left. You did wrong, Chandra, very wrong. You did not just take knowledge and abilities from your pitta. You also took enmity. I gladly accept this enmity. I will passionately carry out this inherited enmity. You have snatched a Shisha from me. A time will come when I will take away the right of teaching from you. I will force you to ask for alms. This is a promise to you, a promise by the true enemy. Tejasraha roared. Completely unaware that he had made a great enemy, Chandra was busy with his plans. Tejasraha went to the Kopa Bhawana, a place where sad people stay until they rise from their sorrows, and Chandra started a free school for the neighborhood children in the courtyard of his house. This school was Chandra's destiny, and also the reason for his happy return from solitary confinement. Chandra started to provide education to Prince Keshava Kumara from morning till lunch. From afternoon till evening, he used to share his knowledge with the rest of the children. During the episode of his marriage, he had closely observed the sufferings of the niche community. He understood that it is also necessary for the Ekhut community to be educated. According to him, boys of every class should be educated, so that they can be able to salvation their class. When Chandra told that to his wife Kumari Rukmini, she became very happy. Then he shared his thoughts with his in-laws. Kumari Rukmini's father was terrified at hearing this, but how could he refuse his son-in-law? Kumari Rukmini's father told the matter to his community chief. The chief immediately said yes, because the story of Chandra's Brahman Sabha was completely fresh in his mind. He had full faith that Chandra would neither do anything wrong nor allow anything wrong to happen to his community. Within a few days, the number of shishas in the school was increased by the Akuts. When Kumari Rukmini would see her husband teaching the children of her community with the same love as Krishna Chandra taught other children, her respect for her husband grew even more. Kumari Rukmini started to feel proud that her husband was not only a gentleman, but also the kindest human being ever. Krishna Chandra is now being discussed in society, not because of his knowledge, but also because of his sensitivity. Many people said in their mind that the king should also be such who considers everyone equal and thinks about the salvation of all. Gradually the shishas started increasing, and now the talks of this school reached even the ears of the Brahmins. At first everyone laughed at Krishna Chandra a lot. What will he earn by teaching the Akuts and the common people? Saying a Panditji laughed a lot. But when they were told that Krishna Chandra's education was free, everyone was convinced that Krishna Chandra had gone mad. If you read this much at a young age, you will be mad, won't you? Such things started happening in the Brahmin society, and everyone got a chance to laugh. Then one day, there was uproar in the Brahmin society. One Brahmin boy came home in great shame, after being badly defeated by the knowledge of the Neech boy in a debate on the street. Only Brahmins and Kshatriyas have the right to education. Who is he to distribute it among the Akuts? That too for free. We had given this right to a few zamindars and the sahukaras some time ago, that too because they had persuaded us by spending huge money, but he has committed a crime by distributing education for free that is costlier than gold. It is seriously illegal. Everyone raised their voices. So tell me who will hit Krishna Chandra first. When a Panditji asked that, all the loud voices became silent. Everyone started looking at each other. The lions of the street do not forget who he is. He had even bowed down to the Brahman Sabha and buried the rules of years in the soil in a few moments. That one boy made all great Brahmins so frightened that they had to ask for the hand of Neech with folded hands in front of the whole Akut society. What is the level of you people when the chairman can't do anything to him? Showing the mirror to the crowd, Panditji said. Everyone shattered after listening to the truth. All of a sudden, all the voices had gone silent. After a few hours, a Sahukar gave an idea. How about Pandit Kedarnatha? A Sahukar said. Hearing that, there was a stir in the crowd. Sahukar advised everyone to go to Pandit Kedarnatha. There is only one man who can clash with that anti-system creature. The Sahukar told his assessment. The Kshatriyas, the Brahmins, the Zamindars, and the Sahukaras all came together in the mansion of Kedarnatha. Kedarnatha and his servant listened to their words. The servant went fast to the Kopa Bhawana and told everything to Tejasraha. Kedarnatha, who was trying hard to forget his greatest defeat, remembered everything that happened in the Brahmin parliament. He started feeling shameful again. He tried hard, but failed to forget that he was standing with folded hands in front of Akuts. What do you think? We did not try to stop that anti-system? We did, and were defeated very badly. Kedarnatha shouted. The crowd was frightened by that shout. Everyone could feel the pain in Kedarnatha's words. Seeing everyone's faces, Kedarnatha controlled himself. He reminded himself that on that day, Krishna Chandra had the capability as well as courage to do worse with Kedarnatha, but he didn't do anything. That day, after my defeat, if Krishna Chandra wanted, he could have expelled me and my family from the Brahmin community. But he did not do so out of favor to me, Kedarnatha said politely. The crowd was astonished to listen. They were looking for a lion, but that old man was behaving like a gentle cow. For all these days I have understood him that he does not come in anyone's way, but if someone obstructs his path, then he has the capacity to leave him nowhere. Kedarnatha gave his assessment of Krishna Chandra. Kedarnatha was trying to calm the mob. He was giving them advice as an experience holder. He thought that his advice would be beneficial for many of them, but the crowd was not interested in his noble thoughts. Kedarnatha understood the ghosts who loved the punishment, not calm down with advice. So he stopped himself to advise them. Once I am somehow saved by not losing everything I have, and you want me to repeat the same stupidity so that I become a beggar. No, I am a great Brahmin lord, not a great fool. Kedarnatha gave his verdict in clear words that he would not join their movement. No one saw the nobility of Kedarnatha. The crowd thought that the old lion was frightened by the great fear of Krishna Chandra. On the other hand, Tejasraja was ready to come out of Kopa Bhavana in a dancing manner after receiving the news from the servant. Tejasraja's wicked laughter was proof that he had found the key to Krishna Chandra's destruction. It was not just information, it was a life-saving herb for him. Tejasraja raised his hands and thanked God. Old slaves, we will no longer need your services. The time has come for you to leave. A very knowledgeable slave and his Ekhoot wife are about to come to fill the vacant posts due to your departure. Thank you, God, thank you. Krishna Chandra, you are very fond of bringing change in society, don't you? Now I will bring change to your world. Mr. Arrogant, get ready for the worst change of your life. Tejasraja said with the joy of a lifetime. Till the time Tejasraja came out from Kopa Bhavana to the hall, everyone was gone because his father openly rejected their request. Another servant told everything to Tejasraja. He looked at his father in anger. Tejasraja stopped everyone in the street and provoked them even more. Tejasraja showed people their future in a great dark. He insulted them in the name of Krishna Chandra so much that everyone's anger reached its peak. Some people even agreed to kill Krishna Chandra. Tejasraja did this so that no one would back down again. He cleverly cooled down to those who wanted to kill Krishna Chandra. That was not a gentle act. That was a wicked act, because Tejasraja did not want his future slaves to die. With the help of a spy, Tejasraja conveyed to the king that people were eager to kill Krishna Chandra in anger. Before the king could do anything, Tejasraja came to the king's court with a large crowd. The king listened carefully to everyone. Being the king's lineage, Balaba Kumara also did not like this change in the system. He also believed that education is a privilege for a few. On the other hand, he knew his son's Acharya and respected him too, so he refused to take any kind of action without doubting his thinking. Tejasraja was ready for that situation. Food provider, as you wish, we Brahmins are high in society but not as high as the Kshatriyas. Even if we want to, we cannot equate the king and his family. But great scholar Krishna Chandra is doing this audacity. Just think and see, sir, both your Putara and the Ekhoot Putara are getting an education from him. He calls both of them Shisha. Have you ever wondered what this means in practical terms? It means that the king's Putara and the Nicha's Putaras are the same. Tejasraja said using specific words. Tejasraja knew how to destroy the intelligence of an upper-class king by attacking the ego that his upper caste gave to him. Tejasraja, control your tongue or else you will lose it the very next moment. The king said angrily. Tejasraja danced in his mind when he listened. With the help of a few words, he shook the rigid king. Forgive me, Lord. I beg your pardon. It was never my intention to insult you. But being your true well-wisher, I find it my duty to tell the truth. The wicked Tejasraja said and asked for mercy. The king, who already became the Kathputli, puppet, of Tejasraja's hands, stopped his anger for a while to listen to the scholar son of a great Brahmin. My lord, what we and you cannot even think about, this arrogant man is practically doing so in his ego. Just think, Lord, when we Brahmins, despite being directly related to God Brahma, cannot match you, then who is he to make the Ekhoots equal to your Putara? Saying, Tejasraja snatched the sword of the soldier standing nearby and placed the sword near his tongue. Along with the crowd, the king was shocked by the mannerisms of Tejasraja. You don't bother, Lord. I will cut off my tongue and lay it at your feet. Just once, for God's sake, only once, considering whether my delirium is false? Tejasraja said firmly. When Tejasraha unhesitatingly waved the drawn sword near his tongue, everyone presented in the great hall, including the king, was dazed. "Oh, God, we found our lion," many of them said in their mind. Tejasraha was successful in his trick as the king got angry. King Balaba Kumara looked at everyone with angry eyes and found that everyone was expecting justice from the king. Seeing that the king was ready to make a decision, just then the general secretary and the king's best friend, Surendra Dasa, came forward. Seeing Surendra Dasa, the king stopped himself for a while as he just came to know that his best friend was around him. "General Secretary, what is your suggestion?" the king asked. "My lord, I'm sorry, I dare to suggest you. Please don't forget our prince and his well-being," Surendra Dasa politely suggested. "This flame of anger has been kindled only for his well-being. How can that petty Brahmin give a Neech Kumara equal status to my Putara?" the king roared. "My lord, please do not forget that Acharya Krishna Chandra Shastri is also the best Acharya for our prince. Prince is very much influenced by him, and he likes him so much that he prefers to remain uneducated rather than read from someone else," the general secretary said. Surendra Dasa stared at Tejasraha. The wicked Tejasraha was prepared for the general secretary too. "Rightly said, sir. The question here is about education. Hey, how can the Neech Putaras get the right that even the Putaras of the general secretary did not have? Education is the best privilege. How much does the king spend to provide this privilege to his Putara? And this privilege is being provided free of cost to those hungry naked akuts in a courtyard. Is this policy compliant, sir?" Tejasraha presented a strong argument before the general secretary. General Secretary Surendra Dasa was ready too, because he got the nerve of Tejasraha. "Pundit ji, there is a difference between policy and diplomacy. Practically, both policy and diplomacy are our jobs. Please don't interfere with it. If you have come here to plead, then focus only on the pleading. Do not try to teach the king the lesson of policy. Otherwise," the general secretary replied to Tejasraha and showed his naked sword. Seeing that scene, Tejasraja's feet wobbled for a moment. He had caught the sword for show. As a Brahmin, he was less concerned with weapons, but Surendra Dasa used to keep the sword with him even while sleeping. Taking out the sword from the sheath by him directly indicates the forthcoming death. Your statement is 100% true, sir. None of us is capable enough to give instructions or advice to the king. Our great king is an intellectual himself. Hey king, both me and this sword are ready, please guide us," Tejasraha said firmly. Tejasraha said so because he knew that he could not take a backstep. If he tries to do so, the general secretary will kill him for sure in the name of making a conspiracy against great king Balaba Kumara. Once again Tejasraha, using diplomacy, provoked the king by diluting the true words of the general secretary. The general secretary was getting very angry with Tejasraha, but he was compelled. The poison emanating from Tejasraja's words affected the king's thinking, and the king's love for his son was defeated in front of the prince's prestige. "Bring that antisocial man in fetters before me," the king shouted. The soldiers left immediately. Tejasraha returned the soldier's sword and gave a triumphant smile to his comrades. Everyone started chanting Raja Ki Jai, hail the great king. The angry king got more excited. The general secretary was watching everyone disappointed.